No one was more surprised than me to get a screen test. And there were all these terribly talented people there, you know, people with violins and guitars, and they're all dancing, and I'm thinking, what am I doing here? Oh, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. And I suppose, you know, still got a number of people to apologise to. A lot of fun. I mean, you're 18, you know, you're on national television all of a sudden, and the world's a little oyster, you know. I had a fantastic time, you know. It was a tiny bulb of intellect somewhere, I suppose. And I kind of thought, well, you know, I'm 18, 19, I was then 20, and I thought, well, how long can you be a host or a presenter of shows for this young audience? You know, the next smart thing's going to come along, you know. I didn't see myself as very good. I got by, it was okay, it was fun, but I never saw myself as a natural talent. And some of my friends and colleagues who I'd met when I joined television, who were considerably older and more skilled than me, said, you know, you need to think about whether you want a career in this business and whether or not you can rely on it being a presenter. And I was working with a lot of really good directors, so I did a deal with the Broadcasting Corporation of the time, in which I agreed to carry on presenting certain shows, and they agreed that I could take a training course and learn to be what was then called a multi-camera director. I think actually there were very good skills trainings. The technology was relatively rudimentary, therefore you needed to be skillful just to shoot television. You had to get it right when you shot it because you couldn't really edit it. You know, it was basically very rudimentary post-production. So you had to be really organised, and you really had to know what you were doing, and you had to get all your performances right, particularly in entertainment, because you got one shot at it. And I directed, you know, shows like Radio Times, the Billy T. James presented musical, a punk series called Drop of Culture, radio with pictures and video clips, a very badly made documentary about country music, which I still apologise to the public for. Look, I did some music stuff. There was a dreadful disco show that's out there on the web somewhere causing my life a misery, called Star Zone.
You can live without love and money. You can live without most things, in fact, but you can't live without rock and roll.
Well, I worked here until my late 20s, and then I had a little break, a little bit of sabbatical. And I came back and worked for the company again. And then I left here, I went to work for South Pacific Pictures with John Barnett. Well, my job was Chief Operating Officer, so my job was to, you know, get the best performance out of the company. So I wasn't devising those, but I did put together the relationship with Fremantle, which resulted in Idol. So I wanted to broaden the range of activities that South Pacific Pictures could do. You know, instead of just being known for its drama, and which is a great reputation, drama and film, but you know, Idol was coming, and I wanted to get my hands on it. And then I had an urge to get back into a network, so I took a programming job and commissioning job at Prime. One of the things that you have to sort of, you know, accept is that when you are at the bottom, you've got enormous freedom, far more freedom than the programming chiefs and the commissioning chiefs have at a big company like this or TV3. You know, no one's going to worry too much about the 5-share player. But if you're smart, you can do a lot. And you don't have to spend a fortune doing it. But in that 2 years, we you know, with the freedom to act, which the management gave me, we changed the schedule quite a lot, reoriented it towards TV1, which is a channel I admire. You know, so although it might have been annoying at the time, it's flattery, you know, and because that's the audience I thought would watch a channel like Prime, and then I wanted to do some more local, you know, so it was good in 2 years to get, you know, some documentaries made, you know, order up a film, get a drama, a 13-part drama, Interrogation, produced by South Pacific Pictures, which was won an award. It was a writer's and actor's drama, you know, because it wasn't a big budget. It was really more of a series of plays. Very well done by John and the team out there. So it was good. It was a good experience also to go through a sale process. You learn a lot about how to run a company and where its value is and how to sell it, you know, and what you go through when you migrate a company from one ownership position to another. I came in here to be head of commissioned programs, and then shortly after I arrived here there was some reorganisation, obviously part of the, keeping this thing running, where they asked me to take on the foreign programs acquisitions. Having done that before, I did that, in last century. so I picked it up again. People have been talking about the death of network television for a long time. There has to be a place where what I call the gathering. There has to be a place you go. I mean, I worked with Richard Driver on, when he developed the documentary channel, which on Sky, and because I'm a fan of documentaries, so I think I know how little channels work in a pay market. But for there to be something for people to talk about, there has to be a gathering. It's got to be a mass. Now, the nature of the mass has changed because there are so many more channels, so yes, there is a natural fragmentation. There's got to be a core where people gather. Human beings are social creatures. And although it might be fascinating for you to tell me about the obscure Argentinian opera you watched last night, I'm going to give that 3 or 5 minutes, but I don't think I'm going to rush out and buy it or search for it. The great big shows are common experiences, and free-to-air is a very good way of being a gathering place. That's why the sorts of content you schedule are broad, and the kinds of programs you commission are large in the nature that they embrace a large audience. You want hundreds of thousands of people to find something that they can relate to in it. That's why the primetime soap operas like Shortland Street are so important. And it goes from strength to strength. So, no, I don't think it's under threat. Technologists will tell you that, sooner or later we'll all just sit alone. I've been reading some papers on the impact of the internet, and there are some reasonably condemning articles now about the impact of isolation, and I think that free-to-air television will be a continuing safe place and will continue to be a gathering. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't know what it is in this country. What at 10:30, what, you go into a coma? Wake up. The Alan Bollinger doco, which, I think's outstanding, and he's a great character and legend, a fantastic cameraman. It's fine, but it is a personal piece about an artist. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with 10:30. I don't go to bed at 10:30. I mean, it's the middle of my evening. So stay awake. Having enough money to make the shows that keep the company going, to buy the shows that the programmers can schedule to. It's the economy. But there are tremendous advantages to working inside Television New Zealand because of its sort of unique place, that straddling of both, God and mammon, commercial and public service, can be really stressful at times, but it provides unique opportunities to do things which, as a creator or a program maker, you wouldn't normally get to do. I mean, I worked with a very good team in London, to do the Sir Evan Hillary church service, at Windsor. Outstanding fun, really neat, and a privilege to be doing something for the Hillary family. Well, you wouldn't get that opportunity, go and do such a thing in a fabulous ancient abbey of such history. So, we get the chance to do unique things, and we should be mindful that those are privileges.